Henry Mintzberg, Bedtime Stories for Managers, Farewell, Lofty Leadership. Welcome, Engaging Management. Step down from the managerial podium and join the orchestra with a Bedtime Stories for Managers, Farewell, Lofty Leadership. Welcome, Engaging Management, by Henry Mintzberg. In the pages ahead, readers will discover the key ingredients to becoming an engaged manager that truly makes a difference. Learn the importance of working across networks, fostering organic strategies, and valuing good judgment above hierarchy. Gain insights into intriguing organizational personas and the importance of communityship. Finally, challenge the traditional metrics of success and learn how you can create a more sustainable and healthier business in an ever-changing world.
Engaged managers. Managers should step down from a podium of control and focus on grounded engagement with their teams. An engaged manager fosters strategies that grow organically from the employees and focuses on good judgment based on the proper context. CEOs should hire or promote managers based on how they treat their people, not just on their business sense. Good managers don't focus solely on the bottom line but treat staff members with respect and engage with them in person instead of relying on emails. Being a manager is demanding and hectic, but engagement and respect make a huge difference in creating a thriving work environment. Grounded engagement. Rather than relying on a top-down, hothouse model strategy for cultivating good ideas in an organization, the author proposes giving all employees the resources and capacity to make good decisions. By doing so, the entire organization becomes a fertile garden for strategies to grow organically through learning and recognition of successes. This nonlinear approach, called grounded engagement, optimizes everyone's contributions and ensures the best ideas proliferate naturally. Ultimately, good strategies are not made through planning but rather through empowering individuals at all levels of an organization. The Cow and the Organization. The book emphasizes the importance of communityship in organizations, where leadership is embedded rather than centralized. The author compares a cow to an organization, stating that an organization should function as a living organism rather than a programmed machine. The author identifies 4 different personas that organizations can take on, and suggests that managers should operate across a web rather than being trapped in a specific hierarchy. The book advocates for shaking up the traditional org chart by fostering more democratic meetings and diverse board members. The author believes that organizations should value innovation and communityship over efficiency and top-down leadership. The limitations of hard data. The book argues that measurements don't tell the whole story about a company's performance or an individual's well-being. Nobel Prize-winning economists favor efficiency, but it ignores intangible values, which are crucial. For healthcare, the industry claims efficiency is paramount, but it's deteriorating. Hard data can be useful, but it can also be unreliable and lose nuance when manipulated too much or interpreted too narrowly. The book encourages leaders to use a more holistic approach when evaluating performance, particularly for managers, by assessing them in context and how they contribute to their teams and organization's effectiveness. The dark side of MBA education. Many CEOs of major corporations are MBA graduates, but studies show that they tend to focus on short-term gains and personal compensation. This is because MBA programs focus too much on case studies and not enough on experience. CEOs with MBAs are also more likely to rely on consultants and short-term deals rather than trusting insiders who know the business better. This corrupts business and society, leading to long-term declines in the market value of their firms. The idea that leadership is separate from management and superior to it has also been bad for both. The solution is to focus more on experience and less on case studies in MBA programs. The innovative IMPM program. The International Masters Program for Managers, IMPM, teaches managers to perform better based on experience and insight. The program lasts 16 months, and participants attend 5 sessions in different countries. IMPM concentrates on 5 essential mindsets of managing techniques, including reflection, analysis, worldly, collaboration, and action. Participants engage in roundtable discussions about their experiences and share show-and-tell techniques. The IMPM program allows managers to educate each other in their offices using the techniques they have learned. Corporate Social Responsibility 2.0. CEOs should refuse bonuses and invest in long-term company health instead of downsizing. Corporate Social Responsibility 1.0 addresses social problems. However, CSR 2.0 can reverse social damage and achieve a balance in society by government and businesses working together for the communal interest. Western democracies need to integrate capitalism with civic society to prevent imbalance. The Philosophy of Customer Service. This book distinguishes two types of companies, those that claim to prioritize customers and those that genuinely do. The former tends to view customer service as a transactional process that seeks to exploit the customer for profit. In contrast, the latter take a more human approach that prioritizes the needs of their clients. The author argues that companies that focus on making money risk forgetting the human element of their business, which can ultimately lead to their downfall. Instead, firms should prioritize delivering quality service and taking care of their customers before making profits. Rethinking the IPO Model. The book suggests alternative models to the IPO route for enterprises, focusing on sustainable, long-term growth and becoming a community of humans, not resources. The author recommends looking for patient, decent capital or considers other options such as B corporations, cooperatives, or social enterprises that prioritize sustainable practices and the environment. The book emphasizes on moving away from the stock market, which the author sees as unsustainable and mercenary, and towards diverse and decent models for businesses to participate in a healthy society. The core message is to prioritize sustainability, creativity, and ethical practices while starting or growing an enterprise. The author encourages entrepreneurs to rely on sweat capital and loans, start small, and try new ideas before committing to them fully. The goal is to find what works sustainably and not necessarily what makes the most profit in the short term. Overall, the book urges businesses to set a higher standard for themselves and compete with themselves instead of others.
As we bid bedtime stories for managers goodnight, we're left with transformative insights and lessons for adopting the engaged management style. By supporting employees, working across networks, and employing a grounded approach, managers can foster organic growth and adapt holistically to the chaotic business landscape. Embrace the concept of communityship, recognizing that leadership is embedded within effective organizations. Shake up traditional ideas about business, moving toward a more diverse and decent economy. Remember, while numbers provide a glimpse into the state of your company, it's the intangible values that truly count. Strive to be a leader who sets a higher standard, competing with yourself and creating a lasting impact.